This is an Indianapolis 500 breaking news alert. Hey everyone, and we welcome you back to what is another edition of the Indianapolis 500 podcast of Borg Warner Production, and this is a breaking news alert. We are just finding out new information. This was posted 10 minutes ago about the Penske entries. As we remember yesterday, we're set to qualify in the Indianapolis 500. They qualified on pole day, didn't get in on bump day, and during that time, the number 2 vehicle being Joseph Newgarden, and then number 12 being Will Power, have been penalized by the INDYCAR series and by the Indy 500 for violating Rule 14.78.16 related to the discovery of modified attenuators. The car will be moved to the 32nd and 33rd starting positions for this year's race. So that's huge. 32nd and 33rd positions respectively. Additionally, INDYCAR is suspending the team's strategists for the number 2 and 12 vehicles for the remainder of the event. Both cars will forfeit their qualification points and an entry fine, and will have to be fined about $100,000. So each entry will be fined that much. That is huge news. So you remember yesterday, Will Power and Joseph Newgarden will not be starting at the top of the grid going into the Indianapolis 500-mile race, according to the INDYCAR Twitter page. Additionally, the INDYCAR series wrote in a statement saying that yesterday INDYCAR's focus was ensuring that the series had all the facts related to the discovery of the modified attenuators on the Team Penske entries of number 2 and 12 to verify they were in violation of INDYCAR Rule 14.78.16. After the series confirmed the technical infraction by violating cars were placed in the last position of the qualifying session for which they qualified. Upon further review last night and early this morning, INDYCAR will be moving number 2 and 12 to the 32nd and 33rd starting positions for this year's race. They will start in order based upon their qualifying times from Saturday. In a statement, President Boyles said, "This is all about the integrity of the Indianapolis 500, which is paramount. And this violation of the INDYCAR rule against modification to this part is as supplied is clear. The penalty should be more than simply starting where the cars might have qualified anyway, if given the opportunity. The cars belong in the field as 2 of the fastest 33. However, starting on the tail of the field is the appropriate penalty for this instance." And it did say that Scott McLaughlin was not able to qualify Sunday due to his accident. Of course, we already knew that. And then they also said they're also going to be impounding Scott McLaughlin's car. So that's a triple whammy. You have to remember, let me break this down. So number 2 being Joseph Newgarden and number 12 being Will Power will not race in their respective spots they thought they would be. They're going to be in the 32nd and 33rd positions. And now they're saying that Scott McLaughlin is going to start. Actually, his car will be they were going to impound the number 3 attenuator, but INDYCAR found that the car was in fact using a legal and unmodified attenuator, therefore that Scott McLaughlin will start in the 10th position, the final spot of those who had qualified to participate in the top 12. So this is huge news. This is huge news. And there was also one more part I wanted to read from this. I know that I was sounding like I was here, there, and everywhere with it, but I just recently found out the news about 10 minutes ago. But additionally, INDYCAR is suspending the team strategists for Will Power and Joseph Newgarden for the remainder of the Indianapolis 500. Both cars will forfeit forfeit Indianapolis 500 qualification points, and each entry has been fined $100,000, as I just read earlier. And also, this is another quadruple whammy here. Both cars will also forfeit their pit positions and will select their pit box after the remainder of the field has an opportunity to adjust accordingly. Huge news coming out of Indianapolis. Huge. And this is big for many reasons. Many people are reacting online about this. But I'm glad they got suspended more than basically expelled from the race. There was no reason to expel them from the race unless they did something very illegal that would constitute that. But for Team Penske to do this is laughable because they're one of the most qualified teams in the field. Yet, I don't know how they commit this kind of infraction. I mean, it's so dumb, in my opinion, to see this kind of infraction done on a vehicle like that and for the team to not work as well. I mean, this is crazy. Just crazy that Penske would try to get the attenuators. And if many people don't understand what attenuators are, especially in a normal vehicle, it is a passive broadband. Oh, actually, no, that's actually devices, and that's a attenuator circuit, which in its definition is a passive broadband electronic device that reduces the power of a signal without appreciably distorting its waveform. But that's in the electronic form. But in INDYCAR, the definition is a crash structure designed to absorb impact. So, I mean, were they just trying to basically penalize themselves or do any of that stuff? I mean, it's so dumb. Additionally, an attenuator is a rear crash structure that houses the rear light. It's a controlled component that cannot be modified according to INDYCAR rules, and its primary function is to absorb impact and reduce force in the event of a crash. So, I don't know what they were thinking, whether they were trying to get things going, but I mean, it's a huge scandal going on right now, and everybody is now talking about what just happened yesterday. And it's so bad on the team. It's a bad eyesore on the Indy 500. And we haven't even started yet on racing. That's going to be next Sunday, which is 6 days away. Yeah, we'll have more coverage for you related to the Indy 500 and related to this incident as well. And yeah, it's a horrible eyesore for not just racing, but also Penske racing as well. This is awful, and I really don't like seeing any of this happen to anyone. But Penske kind of deserved it if they're trying to cheat. I want to look more into this throughout the day today and maybe into tomorrow and see if they were committing some sort of infraction or not, which they really did. And I'm not saying they didn't. I just meant the infraction could be more serious after the race is over. So that was something I wanted to look more into. And I haven't heard anything about this situation being more serious. So we'll see on the projection of that. Thank you all for listening to this breaking news update. Just to wrap things up, so that means Joseph Newgarden and Will Power will be running in the 32nd and 33rd positions. And Scott McLaughlin's going to start in his initial position after his car was impounded during qualifying due to an accident. It was not due to his attenuator being an issue. So Alex Palou is in, Scott McLaughlin is in, Joseph Newgarden and Will Power are in, but those two drivers will be starting at the back of the field, which will make their competition less, which will actually heighten more of the winning chances for drivers like Pato O'Ward or Robert Schwartzman to maybe win it on their first try. Maybe for Pato O'Ward, history will not repeat itself. It will be maybe conquered this year, but we'll see. There's so many storylines going into this now that it's making the entire situation almost juicy, like a crime episode. Very juicy, very poignant for discovery, and hopefully there's nothing more that comes out of this entire infraction. Thank you so much for listening. We'll have more updates about the Indianapolis 500-mile race. Thank you for listening. Have a good rest of your day, and I will look forward to talking to you during the next time. And we'll also have an interview tomorrow. Be prepared for that. So thank you all so much. Have a good day, and I'll let you guys know more information.